Hi, everyone, and welcome to my first stamping project of the summer. This is Deneen, and I am going to be coming to you a few times this summer working on some stamping. This idea came to me actually from the Scrap Gals, Tiffany and Tracy, when we were talking in a podcast. And I had mentioned that I had so many acrylic stamps, yet I was not one who did a lot of stamping. So, I think it was Tracy who suggested you should do something like the summer of stamping. And so I thought, yeah, I think I'll do that. This way I can get some use out of my acrylic stamps. My, I guess, caveat here is that I'm not an expert. I'm not here to teach you wildly insane and new techniques. I am just having some fun here. And the goal is to use some of these stamps that I have been collecting for years and years and years. And this particular set that I'm going to work with today is a recent set, so it is going to get some use early on. This is the Frames 6x8 stamp set from Ali Edwards Designs. And so I am going to kind of just wing it today. I have no idea what my plan is for this page. All I know is I'd like to stamp some frames, and I'd like to color some frames, and I'd like to have some fun with these frames. So we're going to begin here with these particular products, which again, an acrylic block, some StazOn ink, the stamp set, and then some cardstock. And I'm not sure if I'm going to continue to use StazOn, but I thought that would be the best product to use for this because I plan on doing some coloring with some markers, and I didn't want to have ink that was going to be bleeding into each other. So once again, this is an experiment, and I thank you so much for joining me on this little trip. And let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is do some stamping. Okay, so let's get the stamp out here and put it on the block. And again, I'm using StazOn. I like how dark and crisp the images are when you stamp with StazOn. You'll see there that I pulled out a piece of glass because my surface for working is kind of soft and it wasn't giving me the crisp image that I wanted. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the same frame. If you're going to be doing this, you can mix it up with several different frames. I decided I was going to use the same one, and I love this one with these little ruffled edges, so to speak, and I thought, let's give this a shot. So I am going to stamp probably about 9 or 10 of those images here, and then we are going to pull out our markers and we're going to do some coloring. Okay, so I'm using some mild liner creative markers here, and I have chosen 4 colors that are rainbow colors, and I also have chosen a red marker that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that I got from IKEA. So again, not using the highest quality of items, but they are fun and colorful. So let's get started coloring. I picked out another stamp to use on each of these frames from the XO Story Kit by Ali Edwards, and I chose the sentiment Kinda Lovin' This, and I'm going to use Dusty Concord ink, which is a distress oxide, to do my stamping, and then you're going to see me do some fussy cutting. I pulled out a chipboard tag because I might use that. And I also went ahead and printed up the sentiments that I'm going to put inside of each of these frames. This is on sticker paper. You could see here it comes apart, and I'm just going to use my paper trimmer to cut each of these journaling spots out so that they fit inside of each of these frames. And so this sticker paper is an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and I basically just measured the inside of these frames and knew that the inside of the frame could probably handle a text box that was about maybe 1.25 inches by 1.5 inches. And so I went ahead and typed that up in Photoshop Elements, printed it out on the sticker paper, and here I'm cutting them out and putting them on top. Super, super easy. So what you'll see next is my full page photo, and I purposely put some space to the right of my son because I decided that instead of putting all of these frames like this, I wanted to do this and put 3 frames on the photo. So you're going to see me use a right angle ruler to do a little bit of measuring, and I'm also picking out the back of the patterned paper. I went with a polka dot, and I thought that was kind of fun, and it also helped the frames to pop off. So I'm putting some foam squares on each of these particular frames, and there's the right angle ruler that I spoke of. Once I do that, I pretty much eyeball the rest. So I'm not super worried about everything being perfect. I end up cutting 1.5 inches off of that second page because I wanted it to be just a partial page and not a full page. So you'll see here I pull out my paper trimmer and I cut it down. And then once I'm done, I go through and I find some embellishments. I found some black chipboard stars that I thought I wanted to use here, and I add them to each of the frames. And I move the chipboard piece a little bit, add a date, and calling it done. So here is my finished product, and I'm super happy with the way it turned out. I love the brightness of those frames on the photo as well as the polka dotted background. I added another small piece of chipboard off camera that says "Love You Good" underneath the date in the upper right hand corner, and one more black star. So thank you so much for joining me with my first project for Summer of Stamping, and we'll see you again very soon. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Have a great day.